And as families figure out the next steps in their lives after the fire, there are tonight complaints that property owners are capitalizing on their misfortune, and now the state stepping in to investigate the skyrocketing housing prices. With that, here's Denver 7's Bayan Wang.
When something happens where people are potentially taken advantage of, we take complaints along those lines very seriously.
Those complaints coming from victims who lost their home to the Marshall Fire.
My sister and my brother-in-law has been trying to find places, and then people are price gouging their prices.
Lennon Quillenting is talking about rent. She and her family want to stay in the community their children go to school in and where they work. But if you browse through Zillow, you'll see rental properties that have skyrocketed in rent in areas most impacted by the fire. Take this property in Broomfield, for example. In January of last year, it was listed at $2,600 a month. On December 31st, the day after the fire, it was listed at $3,800. 5 days after that, it was listed at $4,200.
We have had some complaints come in about price gouging and unfair treatment that potentially could run afoul of our laws that say during an emergency, it's not okay to take vulnerable people's time, money, and effort by engaging in what would be unreasonable and unfair pricing.
Attorney General Phil Weiser confirms that his office is investigating these claims. Anyone found guilty of price gouging is subject to thousands of dollars of fines, and right now the AG is looking at a crucial factor.
The work that we have to figure out is whether the way sellers are acting is unreasonable at the state of the time, or is it a function of supply and demand that we know that housing is expensive in Colorado. And so that's why it's a case-by-case decision.
The decision on where to go next is a difficult one for the Quillenting family. But for now, modest resources will have to do.
We have temporary living. I'm usually an in-control person, take care of things, and this is so completely out of my control.
Bayan Wang, Denver 7.
Bayan also spoke with a man who stayed at a Marriott after the fire, the day after the fire. He says he was charged for a one-night rate what was 2 times higher. We spoke to hotel management there. They say this is just an outlier, but they are investigating, and we'll be sure to follow up with management to get this figured out.
And if you think you are a victim of price gouging after the fire, there are several steps you can take to report the issue to the state. According to the U.S. Public Interest Research Group, you should first make sure you have the name and address of the location you think is raising its prices. Make sure to jot down all details, including the date and time you saw the inflated price. Taking pictures will also help improve the investigation. Also include any names of people you spoke with to try and resolve the issue. You can report these findings to the Attorney General's office by phone or online.